everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to start a new unit, The Age of Andrew Jackson, or The Age of Jackson. So we're going to look at Andrew Jackson's early life and see how some of these events might shape his future political life. Andrew Jackson was born into a quote dirt poor family. Dirt poor because they lived off of the dirt. Whatever they could grow from the ground, that's how they fed themselves. They didn't really grow enough to be able to sell anything. So they survived by growing just enough food to feed themselves. His father died before he was born. He lived with his mother and two older brothers and some of their extended family and lived in a pretty difficult life during the colonial period. As the American Revolution started, things didn't go so well for the Jacksons. One of his brothers died serving in the war. Another one, his brothers contracted smallpox, as did Jackson himself. Jackson would survive it. His mother also would die. So by age 14, he's an orphan and serving in the military. Pretty crazy to think about. And at one point in his life, he is taken prisoner by a British officer, and in a dispute, he stands up to the British officer, holding up his hand to him. And the British officer takes his sword and slashes young Jackson across the face and hand with his sword to punish him, to teach him a lesson that he'll remember his whole life. And well, Jackson will remember that his whole life, bearing the scar across his face and hand. And his whole experience with the revolution, between losing his family, fighting in the war, will leave him with a deep distrust and dislike for the British. After the war, Jackson is going to become an attorney, putting himself essentially through law school, studying law on his own, passing the bar exam on his own, and decides that there's more opportunity for him in Tennessee, in the frontier, and he moves near what is present day Nashville. And when he's there, he starts establishing multiple businesses, including a general store. He works as a lawyer, not only in private practice, but as a prosecutor. He'll get elected to multiple offices, including state senate, state assembly, and a judge and even a leader of the local, the state militia, which will get him into one of his many, many duels that he'll have in his life. During this time period, he meets his future wife, Rachel, who is said to be the love of his life. They were pretty strongly bonded, but they definitely had a bit of controversy since Rachel was married before they were met, and this was, a time period where divorce was often unheard of, and he thought that she was divorced. She thought she was, but with the laws written in the way that they were, she actually wasn't when Jackson married her. And his political opponents will often use this to get Jackson's blood up, because Jackson's known for his hot temper and his sensitivity to insult, especially about his wife. And during the course of his life, he's going to get into several duels. Yes, like, hey, I'm mad at you, so let's shoot guns at each other in the streets. Yeah, Jackson does a lot of dueling. He's like a serial dueler. He's like really into it. And he's going to win a couple. He's going to lose a couple. In one duel, he gets shot in the chest and almost seems unfazed, and then levels his gun and shoots his opponent right in the face, killing him. Jackson will live with the bullet in his body the rest of his life. Another duel where he fights two brothers at the same time. He gets shot in the arm and almost ends up losing the arm. And duels don't always necessarily work out great for him, but he keeps getting into them. Jackson is then going to leave the government and enlist in the military. And you know about his military success because we talked about the War of 1812 already. In the Creek War, the Battle of New Orleans, and the Seminole War, his brash-headed, spirited style of leadership, his uncompromising ability to just pursue victory, even if those above him tell him not to act, make him quite the folklore hero of the American people. He's becomes more and more popular, and he becomes so known for being unbreakable and unwavering in his approach that he's nicknamed Old Hickory. A hickory is a type of stick. Walking sticks were common in fashion during this time period, and hickory was the strongest, sturdiest type of wood that you could get for a walking stick. It was expensive, and it was something that was regarded to be unbreakable. And like a hickory stick, if you mess with him, he would beat you senseless. So let's wrap up this part of the lesson. And two questions for you. Why is Andrew Jackson described as a self made man? And what benefits do you think may come from having a leader who's self made? Look forward to reading your answers. Have a great Monday. Or, no, Tuesday. It's Tuesday.